Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up this evening, we see the new memorial to trawlermen in Hull, those who lost their lives, and we have the latest business news. And tonight's guest is Nicola Masdam from the brand new singing group in Greatcoats.
Officers leading the investigation into a shooting at a McDonald's restaurant in Hull are appealing for help in tracing the movements of this vehicle. The incident happened at the restaurant in St Andrew's Quay around 11:35 a.m. on Saturday, January the 2nd, when shots were fired at a car in the car park. Detective Inspector Simon Gawthorpe said they are keen to speak to anyone with information about the silver Saab 9-3. North East Lincolnshire Council have appointed a new cabinet member with responsibility for helping to drive forward the area's skills agenda. It comes in the light of the jobs that are set to be created within the renewable sector and industry. Councillor Ray Sutton is the portfolio holder for skills and employability.
This area, along with many others, is facing the challenge of trying to attract new investment because that's the way areas grow now. And there is a tremendous amount been achieved by lots of people, but having the right skills in place for new employers who are interested in coming is the key, and making sure that we've got the people here who can take new jobs and are ready to take new jobs and ready to grab them, as well as attracting people from further away and making sure we've got an exact match and that we're all, joining in the success that we've got in North East Lincolnshire.
Great Grimsby MP Melanie On is calling for Humber bridge tolls to be suspended in 2017. It's reported that the Labour MP wrote a letter to fellow MPs in the Humber area saying free crossing would encourage more people to move between the North and the South Bank, making the most of Hull's year of City of Culture. Fixed average speed cameras are to be installed over 8 weeks on the A1079. Work will start at the beginning of February on the £890,000 scheme, with cameras being installed between the Dunswell and Shipton Thorpe roundabouts. It will replace existing speed cameras on Market Wheaton Bypass, sections of the Beverley Bypass and Arras Hill. Siemens has advertised more than 100 jobs at its Hull plant, with opportunities ranging from managers to production operatives. More than 300 jobs have been posted since Siemens announced it was coming to the city and building a wind turbine blade manufacturing facility at Alexandra Dock. That's all your news for now. You can get in contact in the usual ways by emailing us on news@estuary.tv or giving us a call on 01472 31 553. Bye for now.
The economy of the Humber was built on the shipping and fishing industries. Dangerous work and many lives were lost at sea. Since 2003, the Hull-based charity Stand has been campaigning for a permanent memorial, and after a competition, they've picked a winner, as Dave Nunn went to find out.
The Humber is an industrialised area that owes many of its current fortunes to the fishing and trawler industries. St Andrew's Quay in Hull is set to become home to a brand new memorial commemorating trawlermen that have died in the line of work. Peter Naylor's sculpture of these trawlermen and a child stood in front of a bell won a competition. He explained how he came up with the image.
There's 13 men, they're going to stand about 9 feet high. I could have made them higher. I want them within that kind of human scale. I want people to bond with them. 13 men because deliberately I want them to be unlucky in that sense. These are obviously, it's for the 6,000 fishermen that died in Hull in the last 100 years. It's not obvious there are 13, it's only if you started counting them, but in that sense they are inextricably ill-fated really. So I think that's quite a nice little touch. I hope, in many ways it's a very serious subject, and it can get a little bit macabre. I've tried to lighten it. In front of them there's a small figure, a kind of 8-9-year-old boy carrying a heavy suitcase on his head, and he's smiling. And I hope he's just a little sort of almost a touch of humour that'll just warm it slightly. Round him we're going to embed pre-decimalisation coins, because the trawlermen used to empty their pockets of coins before getting on board. That was another superstition.
Stand is a Hull-based charity that's been campaigning and planning for a permanent memorial to trawlermen since 2003. With the seas playing such an important part in local economic history, the chairman of Stand, Ron Wilkinson, says this permanent memorial is more than needed.
We're a city who've lost more than 6,000 men over a period of time. There's not many cities throughout the country that claim to have that amount of fatalities in a normal job, because at the end of the day it was a normal job. These guys went to sea, they carried out their work as normal. They didn't see the dangers that were there. They knew they existed, but they just went and did the job. And to lose 6,000 men like that, it's a crime that we haven't a memorial to commemorate them.
Peter says being involved with the project is an absolute honour, and his many connections to the industry and the people in it have made it a poignant project for him to be involved with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's an integral part of Hull's history and Hull's character. Although the fishing finished quite a while ago, I mean, everybody in Hull, you only have to take one step sideways with them and they're connected to somebody that had a link to the fishing industry. My own father started his working life on the fish dock. I started my teaching career in Kingston High School on Pickering Road, teaching the children of the fishermen. So yeah, it's a complete. This building we're in now, you can look at the whaling skeletons. They're fastened to the ceilings by fittings that my grandfather made because he was a blacksmith that worked for Hull Council. So you know, I mean, everybody in Hull is so closely linked to it is a maritime city.
And if you have any news or sports stories for us, or you'd like to appear on our news sofa, you can get in touch with us by emailing news@estuary.tv or by calling us on 01472 31553. My guest tonight comes from Greatcoats, where they've recently formed a singing group looking for talented vocalists, and representing them is Nicola Mazdam. Nicola, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
I said there that you're looking for talented vocalists.
No, everybody is welcome.
Okay.
You don't have to particularly have a talent. It's more about taking part and just enjoying the experience of singing.
And of course, if you don't have any particular talent, then after a little practice and a little training and a little work, then that talent might...
Hopefully we might be able to nurture something in you and find that little spark.
It might be revealed and blossom.
You never know.
How long has this group been going on?
We've only had 1 week. Last Thursday was the first week. And I was expecting a few people to turn up because it was a really miserable night, but we had 20 people turn up, so it was a brilliant first start.
And of course, these things start off with a bunch of strangers, a bit curious, coming together, and everybody thinks, oh no, I can't sing really, you know, I've got a terrible voice. And what, a couple of hours later, how was it? Well,
it was only like we had an hour, that was it, and it whizzed by. But everyone was a bit shy when they came in, but they soon made friends and people gained confidence, and they all joined in and had a great sing-song.
What's the group called?
It's just called Greatcoats Singing for Pleasure Group. We haven't really given it a proper name as yet.
Okay, I think you need a catchier title
than that. I think we do, because that's a bit rubbish, isn't it? But we'll come up with something. But it's purely just a singing for pleasure group. I think we might stick at that.
What prompted you? I mean, if you or whoever, you know, what was the spontaneity? Sure. What was the idea that prompted this?
Well, it just came from a discussion where I'm part of Greatcoats community group, and we were saying we had nothing to do in the evenings. The evenings are drawing in, and it was a bit miserable, a bit dismal. And somebody suggested, could we not do singing? And I'm a music teacher. I've been a music teacher for 25 years. So I said, well, why don't we just get together and have a bit of a sing-song? And the more people they told, it just grew and grew, and soon people were really keen to come along and join us.
So Greatcoats is full of potential Maria Callas's who have been frustratedly sort of singing in the shower for all these years, singers. And the first opportunity they've had.
Absolutely, that's it. And people came, and they were so pleased to be able to come and just sing and not have their faults, if you like, pointed out,
and not be judged.
And not be judged, exactly. And it is just all about enjoying it, and everyone gave it their all, and then ended up with a smile on their face at the end of the evening.
You've only had one practice, as it were, one session together, so it may be a little bit of an unfair question to ask. What sort of repertoire do you sing?
Oh, everything. We've got songs from the musicals, we've got modern pop songs, we've got old songs from 60s and 70s. So we try to cover everything really, and we've got a range of ages of people coming as well. So we try to cover everything. So you've had one session, maybe give it one more session, a session after that, and can we expect Handel's Messiah? Absolutely, no. It's still. I think we're going to keep our feet on the ground. Somebody did actually email me yesterday and ask whether we could do a concert or something. I think that's looking into the future. why not? It sounded brilliant. From my ears at the front of the group, it sounded absolutely wonderful. I was
It
chuffed.
sounds like, from such a recent development, everybody sounds extremely self-confident, to the point maybe of hubris here, that you're planning concerts and things like that.
I think they surprised themselves how well they all sounded together, and it was a big surprise, and it sounded brilliant.
Okay, but you're looking for more people. You've got that
Yes.
original core of 20.
Yes.
How can people who want to come and sing in Greatcoats, how can they get in
Well,
touch?
people can just turn up. It's 7 o'clock on the 1st and the 3rd Thursday of each month, or they can go to our Facebook page, which is Greatcoats Community Group.
And they turn up at Greatcoats Community Hall?
Village Hall, which
Village
is in
Hall.
Cooks Lane, 7 o'clock, the 1st and 3rd Thursday.
Please stay with us, as coming up after that break we have all the weekly business news, and we'll have the regional news from the newspapers, brought to you by Erica as usual. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come, we have all this week's business news, and Erica Barker brings us all the regional news from the papers, and we'll have the latest local sports and results. My guest Nicola Masdam is still here, talking about the Greatcoats Singing for Pleasure group. And just one or two extra points to make about that.
Yep.
Men and women both welcome.
Absolutely, yeah. We had some men turn up on the first night, which was lovely. So it's not just for women, as some people might think. It's for everybody.
Well, you do need that bass and baritone section, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. We need it.
Have you got any good sort of rolling Pavarotti voices coming through there? I suppose he's a tenor, isn't he, rather than a...
Yeah. Well, I think we may have a couple there. Yeah. I've got high hopes.
This music is so important, isn't it? Because it's not just listening to music, as we all do all the time, almost automatically without thinking about it and concentrating on it. But making music is just a significant addition to a happy lifestyle.
Absolutely, it's really healthy for you, physically and mentally, and just seeing the people at the end of that miserable weather that we had, and coming in at all bedraggled and miserable, and coming out with smiles on their faces, because it really did lift everybody's spirits and make everyone feel well.
It's an exercise, a physical exercise, as well as a sort of an intellectual and emotional exercise. Dare I say it, it's a bit like a sort of a drug.
It's very contagious, because the more you sing, the more people didn't want to go home. They wanted to stay longer and sing more. And it is because it releases all those endorphins. It makes you feel wonderful, makes you feel happy and cheerful. So people want more of it.
Now, you're a music teacher, as you said. Are you very strict? Do you stand there at the front and tap your music stand with your baton and say, no, madam, for God's sake?
Well, not on the first week, I didn't. No, because we like to get it right. People want to learn. They want to learn the song properly. So I will point them. We will stop if we've got it wrong, and we'll carry on going, and I'll help them in that way. But it's not about pointing out faults, it's about just singing and enjoying it.
I have a guitar teacher who is concise with words, and once accused me of leaving such a gap between the bars that he could have gone out and got an ice cream. There is a sort of...
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel that I was going to practice harder, so that he wasn't going to say nasty things to me in the future.
No, I think you need to encourage some people. These people may not have ever sung in front of people before, so it's very brave for them to come in the first place. So we need to encourage them, nurture them, and give them a few weeks before we beat them.
And it is all about pleasure, as the name of the group suggests.
Yeah.
Good. And Greatcoats, it's a Greatcoats group, but is it just limited to the people of Greatcoats, or can other people come?
Absolutely, we had people from all over coming, so it's from anybody, Humberston, Waltham, anywhere.
Okay, so Greatcoats Village Hall every first and third Thursday of the month. What time?
7 till 8.
7 till 8 for a bit of wonderful music.
Absolutely.
Nicola, thank you so much for coming in, and I look forward to coming along and maybe, well, I'm not going to sing, but I'll listen to you.
It'll be nice to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicola. And Erica Barker's here with the weekly business news.
The The leader of Hull City Council says he welcomes findings of a report advising their mergence with East Riding of Yorkshire Council. The commission that's published the report was set up in 2014 by Hull City Council to look at the possibility of changing the city's boundaries with its Conservative-run neighbour. Councillor Stephen Brady says a UK City of Culture, Siemens and other major investments ongoing. The time is right to strengthen existing partnerships and to forge new ones so that Hull and the sub-region are able to seize the opportunities they have within the wider devolution agenda. A Grimsby estate agent says sales have doubled as more people move to North East Lincolnshire from the south of England. Pigott and Crown has opened up a new branch in Cleethorpes, expanding their workforce to respond to demand. Property prices in the area increased by around 10% last year compared to previous annual figures, but branch manager David Gardner says this hasn't discouraged buyers. He tells us why there has been such a housing boom.
There's a couple of reasons. Obviously, we've got a lot of the renewable sector that's happening locally in the area. Obviously, that's bringing quite a few jobs. We've seen a lot of wind farm engineers in, contractors, construction. Again, prices. Prices are so attractive. What a mortgage would be at £140,000 to what it would be at £500,000. You can see why people are going, well, do you know what, let's try and get something for our money, especially when there's a housing shortage in the UK.
Businesses in North East Lincolnshire are being urged to come forward and apply for funding and incentives. The Council's Inward Investment and Growth team has announced 3 upcoming information sessions aimed at ensuring local businesses are equipped with the right information on what is available to them. They say a £4 million funding pot is available to small and medium-sized enterprises to promote growth, development and job creation, with grants of £5,000 to £200,000 available. And finally, a Grimsby woman who set up her own travel business in the front room of our home has been able to open her first shop after winning a regional enterprise competition. Entrepreneur Sharon Allen rose to the top in the Apprentice Retailer Contest organised by Freshney Place Shopping Centre and the Business Hive Club. Impressing the judges with her business model, enterprise and determination, Sharon won the top prize of a unit at Freshney Place completely free from rent, insurance fees and service charges for 6 months.
And Eric is staying with me now to talk us through some of the other stories from the region this week.
Hiya, Hugh. OK, so local residents living in North East Lincolnshire have been warned to be aware when receiving correspondence referring to their council tax. This comes after some people in the area have been getting text messages saying that they need to contact the council with regards to their council tax. This isn't the case. This is a scam, so North East Lincolnshire Council is warning people to be aware, not to reply to these text messages if they get them, and to ring them if they have any queries or any problems.
OK, rather clever criminals there pretending to be taxmen.
It's terrible though, isn't it?
Well, it's very difficult to tell the difference though, isn't it, between
yeah,
taxmen and criminals?
Hugh.
The difference, the difference being a mere arbitrary, legitimate decision of the state under the law. Anyway, proceed. What's next?
OK then, so this is a story within the Grimsby Telegraph. They say that none of the council's proposals to shake up waste provision in North East Lincolnshire will be enough to save the £1 million it needs to save from this April. Now, the authority currently forks out £4 million a year collecting waste and a further £5.5 million disposing of it. Collection is currently supported by an £800,000 per year recycling grant, but that is to run out in December.
So we're going to have to be worrying about our rubbish collections, I guess.
Because they have been saying that the collections could go to fortnightly, but even if that's the case, they're not going to make the savings they need. Perhaps
it would be possible to make an arrangement to pay the council tax to the criminals who are trying to steal it, and then they could take away our rubbish in return for that.
Maybe, Hugh. Maybe they just need you to give them a solution.
It's a little statesmanship, a little statecraft. That's all that's required.
I mean, it's quite concerning, though, really, if they're making these savings, but it's still not going to be enough. You wonder where the shortfall is going to come from.
Well, of course.
Anyway, good news for Brigg as the council car parks give away 2 hours free parking. That's made a massive difference in Brigg, so traders say. So free parking boosts business, which you would assume.
And it's a great shopping town, Brigg, as well. It's a wonderful high street they have there.
It is really fantastic. Unless you go there, you don't really realise what it has to offer, do you? I think Brigg's fantastic.
It's a beautiful place, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Snow could be on the way.
Oh, could it?
Yeah, from tonight. So
Right.
this is for Met Office forecasters. They say that this evening snow showers could be heading for Grimsby, and we are looking at temperatures of -1 Celsius.
-1 isn't too bad. That's a mild frost. You're very excited about the snow, aren't you?
I do get quite excited. Do I sound excited?
Are you, as one snowman said to the other one, can you smell carrots?
No, that's not the joke. You got
Isn't
it
it?
wrong.
Sorry.
You spoilt the punchline.
Okay.
Okay, are we done, or do you want one more?
No, I want one more,
okay,
please.
I've got one more. This is what I did discuss then. This is a serious one in the Business Bulletin. With the Northern Devolution, Hull City Council is a massive, massive backer of this. East Riding Council, not so much. Hull City Council commissioned a report. Basically, they want to merge with East Riding Council. Hull City
Okay,
Council
well,
do.
that's an old and running story, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Erica, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Time now for the latest sports news.
Hull City faced Cardiff City on Wednesday evening in the Championship. Steve Bruce's side will return to the top two with a win, following Derby County's 1-1 draw with Reading on Tuesday. Middlesbrough, however, now have an 8-point cushion over the Tigers at the top of the division. North Ferriby United assistant manager Mark Carroll has praised the impact of winger Curtis Bateson. The winger has contributed 10 goals and several assists so far for the Villagers.
Curtis has been, he's still a young player. But his game's progressing. Myself and Bill are at him regarding his defensive duties, and he's a great lad. He's picking that up. But yeah, the thing with us this season is the goals are coming from everywhere. There's no sort of one goal threat, so people can't just say, "Oh, you stop him, you stop them scoring." Kingy's scoring from midfield, Tom Denton's scoring, Danny Clark's scoring, Curtis Bateson's scoring.
Weston-super-Mare and Wealdstone should finally face off on Wednesday night for the chance to play Grimsby Town in round 2 of the FA Trophy. The two sides have had 3 attempts to play the first round clash postponed, but the Mariners should finally know who Saturday's opponents will be by Thursday. Hull FC veteran Feka Paliasina has taken on a new role at the club as the player welfare officer. Despite still being in line to play a pivotal role at the Black and Whites in 2016, the New Zealand-born prop is keen to continue his work with the club off the field. That's all your sport for now. You can get in contact in the usual ways. Bye for now.
And that's it for tonight. If you have a news story for us, then do please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages. Get in touch with us in the usual ways at estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472 31553. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Rix Petroleum, your local family-owned heating oil supplier this winter.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Thursday will be cloudy and windy, perhaps a little sleet and snow too. Frosty overnight and highs of 5 degrees Celsius. A brisk northerly wind on Friday with some sunshine.
Rix, servicing the region's oil boilers this winter from a name you can trust. Get in touch at rix.co.uk or call us on 01482 838383.